checking out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the Doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
There we go. Good morning. How are you? Happy Hump-Day to you, wherever you might be. And we're glad to have you aboard. Join us in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. We'd love to hear from you. Join us also on the text line here on the program. Oh, I still haven't put the text line up there. I'll do that today. I'll do that today, I promise. 540-391-0788 here from the Family Fencing Studios here in Reiner. Appreciate all the folks at Family Fencing and all the folks who make this program possible. Of course, we're presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment each and every day right here. And get warm with Little River Heating and Air. 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. Go see Charles Lee. Fan question of the week, sponsored by Ryan Pry, our attorney. Well, not the official show attorney. That's Richie Davis. But and Ryan Pry, of course. Fan question. We get a lot of interesting names for question this week was, if Brent Pry doesn't make it, who would be your choice for head coach for Virginia Tech? Good stuff. And National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST here on YouTube. So we have good stuff. Today, coming up, Kion Brown will join us. We'll see what we get into. Damien Sordelett, get his take on the game, look ahead to Vandy. And I'm going to tell you why. One of the reasons I hope you watch this program is what I've been hearing for the last 24, 36 hours, basically what we've said verbatim here on the show. We'll get into that. And then David Teel today. Bill Roth traveling today, unable to join us, but maybe tomorrow or next week. I don't know. We'll see. But Bill sends his apologies, but he'll be back with us next week if he can't make it today. But I hope everybody's doing good. You know, we got to Wednesday. You're coming off of a holiday week where most people didn't work on Monday. So it kind of, you shuffle, right? You get that little, it's good because it gets you into the week, but then you're not really ready for the week. It's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not really ready for the week. But it's okay. It's all right. We do the best we can. We shuffle along. Had soccer late last night over at the Cup Stadium. Elon came to town. Called that one on ESPN Plus. But we're here together on a Wednesday, and I hope you're okay. Let me know how you're doing. It's funny, you know, the NFL starts tomorrow, and we're all excited. By the way, tomorrow will be the Fourth and Goal show presented by National Bank. Week 2 with Jermaine Farrell. David Smith and I will also have our second Sports and More podcast. But, you know, we get so excited, and, you know, I talked about it verbatim, and I think most of you felt the same way. High school football, first week of college football. NFL gets here, and we're excited, but, boy, you just don't feel the same. I don't know what it is. Like, we'll be watching Cowboy Eagles fans. It'll be the most watched thing on television by far tomorrow night. Won't even be close for the week. It's just a little strange. It's just a little different feeling. Once you get into the season, I guess it's okay. But it is a little odd. kudos to everybody, by the way. I'm going to read this because I can't remember what it is. We have now, today is episode 18 of the new show here on YouTube. And we have now surpassed 10,000 views. And we have surpassed 3,000 actual watch time hours. How about that? Huh? Yeah. That's pretty good. Our metric guy is really happy. Thank you so much, by the way. It's all because of you. Yeah, pretty good stuff. So those are great numbers. Just got to push the subscription base up now. I'd like to get it up to 500. Need like 115 people. Can we do that as a BDST YouTube community? Can I task you, the BDST Army? You know how Arnold Palmer, Arnie's Army? Maybe we can have a BDST Army. We're not violent at all. Unless you don't subscribe. Then you're going to get it, I tell you. But thank you so much. That's pretty cool. To see those metrics, they kind of jump off at you, you know? But that's pretty cool. So I appreciate that mightily. Thank you so much. I owe it all to you. But we got to, we can keep growing. We're never going to be satisfied. And your channel's starting to get there a little bit because you're starting to get bots that leave comments on your channel. They wouldn't pay attention if it wasn't showing up in their algorithm somewhere. So, you've kind of made it when you've got bots. All right, so what I want to get into a little bit is, I said this last week, even before the game, but especially from Monday to, yesterday, about how Virginia Tech's season is on the brink and how this game is going to be, I think, the teeter-totter game against Vanderbilt on Saturday. By the way, Louise Baker is going to have tickets to give away. I got to get with Louise and see when she wants to do that. I think she's going to come on and Zoom in with me here, join me in the studio. It's going to be nice. Reggie, I'm going to get to that. Reggie is reading my mind here. And then I'll tell you what Reggie just sent us in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. It's almost as if Reggie peered into my mind and picked out exactly what I was going to get into. So they lose to South Carolina. It's one game. There's always overreaction Monday, right, to the NFL, to the college football world, to high school football. The environment's not a normal environment. We're not talking about a 2025 season starting after Virginia Tech is coming off an 8 or 9 win season and a strong performance in the bowl game or something of that nature. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is a team that underachieved mightily last year, and everybody knows that jobs are on the line here in 2025, and the fan base is headed up to here. You don't deserve to be fans, no one should, nobody at Virginia Tech has the right to ask you to be patient any longer. Some of the greatest fans ever. And you don't have to be patient any longer. So, and it sounded crazy to say that the season's on the brink in week 2. Yesterday, I read no less than 5 or 6 different pieces, either on X, different social medias, saying that the season's on the brink Saturday against Vanderbilt. Hang on just a second, okay? I got a real life issue here. We got animals fighting outside. Hang on, I'll be right back. It's great audio if you can hear it. Hang on. Okay. Lots of foxes in this area here in Reiner. Just outside of the family fencing studios, I saw a fox out there chasing my kitty. You remember Balboa Creed, the kitty? Yeah, he gets he gets tangled up with foxes. But anyway, everything's good now. We had Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom unfolding here on the program is what we had. Remember Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom? Marlon Perkins? And then you had Jim, the animal guy, who used to always go on to the Tonight Show. Remember? Anyway, I digress. So, Tech fan, some of the best fans I've ever been around. And I'm not just saying that because I live here in the New River Valley and and been around it. It's just true. So when somebody tells you to be patient, you just kind of give them the virtual bird. Don't tell me that, right? So I said the season was on the brink. And it sounded crazy. And I wasn't sure I wasn't overreacting. Then I saw all these people. And I'm not saying they're watching the channel here and agreeing. I hope they are. If they are, that's great. But I do believe we were the first ones to talk about it. And the more I read about it, and some other people are making much better points than I could about it, I think it's actually absolutely 100% true. The season's on the line Saturday night. And I'm not even talking about, hey, well, they can bounce back in the ACC. Now, I'm just talking about the credibility of everybody who's in place is on the line Saturday night. I really believe that. Enough's enough. Right? Kyron Drones has to come out and be better. They don't have anybody behind him, by the way. Let's just go ahead and say it for what it is. And I'm not ever going to give up sources that I have very close to the program. And I'm not talking about people who come on the show. They're awesome sources, and they tell you honestly what they feel about what's going on. But people tell me that everybody who is saying, hey, why don't you play this guy? Why don't you play Pop Watson? They don't have anybody behind Kyron Drones that they feel like they could put into a football game and be successful. They brought the kid in to compete for the backup job because it just hasn't worked out for Pop. So it's Drone's show, regardless of what happens. And I think all you have to do is look at, we talked about the show metrics, and I'm so just blown away at some of the numbers that we've hit already here on the new program. I hope sponsors are paying attention. Virginia Tech on a Saturday night, Lane Stadium, with a program like Vanderbilt coming in, only 1.5 point favorites. You're supposed to get 3 points for being at home. That's the general rule from Vegas. When the point spreads are set. All right, so here it is. It's not nothing. All right, home team gets 3. All right, let's adjust it accordingly. So in reality, what you're saying is if Tech's 1.5 point favorites, they're not a favorite at all because you get 3 points for being at home. They're basically being looked at as being 1.5 point underdogs. Vegas understands what's on the line on Saturday night. The place is going to be full throat. So you can have two things be true at the same time, right? One, losing the game on Saturday doesn't mean that you can't bounce back and be a contender in the ACC at all. We're not ever saying that. We're not idiots. But the other thing that can be true is if Vanderbilt comes in on a Saturday night with Diego Pavia looking, and this is just theoretical. I'm not saying it's going to happen. If he comes out and plays just lights out and makes Kyron Drones look pedestrian, where are you going to be as a fan base if Tech's walking off that field 0-2? That's how important this game is, in my opinion, because the give-a-dams are running out, I think, from Tech fans. Because what's happening and what you're running the risk of right now around Virginia Tech football is the dreaded word that nobody wants to hear. Too many professional teams hear it. And now if it seeps into a place like Virginia Tech, you got issues, and it's called apathy. It's just called apathy, where fans will just watch the result and go, yeah, well, what'd you expect? Okay, And that's the last thing you want from especially a passionate fan base like Virginia Tech. You can't have apathy just seep in there. And I'm afraid if they lose the game on Saturday, that's exactly what's going to start happening even more and more. Because the next two games, although both likely wins against Old Dominion, where they'll be heavily favored, and in Wofford, where they may not even put a line on the game because it's Wofford. You know, somewhere Whit Babcock has to look at that schedule. And even though I know it can't be changed, and I know he's worked on it and gotten rid of Old Dominion in the future, he has to be thinking, ooh, how in the world did I consciously put Old Dominion and Wofford back-to-back for our fans? Good question. Why? Why do that? I just believe it's going to take a lot out of Virginia Tech fans and create more, well, okay, we don't really care anymore. And that's what you can't have. And that's when you lose your customer. And that's when you know your program has failed. And I'm afraid it's getting there. And I think a loss on Saturday might push it in that direction. And I've seen other people now talk about it. And with Kyron Drones, he's the only option Tech really has at quarterback. So when Mike Burnip came on 2 weeks before the season, and he said, Bill Roth, they really cannot have anything happen to Kyron Drones because there's no confidence in the quarterback room. You can put that on the coaching staff for recruiting or, whatever didn't work out with their budget left over from, the NIL. I don't know. It just hasn't worked out. Maybe because they haven't had a true quarterbacks coach in the past. It made no sense. We talked about that on the radio show. How many of you would hit me up on the text line or whatever it might be and go, why do they not have a quarterback coach? I don't know. David says if Tech plays like they did in Atlanta and lose, watch for the GoFundMe pages for prize buyout. And that's the thing. We saw so many good things defensively that were encouraging from Sam Seifkas. And I know, look, I'm not going to panic over Philip Montgomery. I know he's a heck of a football coach. I mean, he's a really good football coach. And that offense is going to have some stuff to it. So I'm not worried about that aspect of it. I am concerned about, what's going on with Kyron Drones. But we'll see. We'll see. But everybody is starting to pick up on what we've been talking about. And like I said, two things can be true at the same time. No, it doesn't affect your ACC future, and you can still be in, a bowl and maybe a playoff scenario. But if you're 0-2, how's this fan base going to react? How many empty seats will there be the next week against ODU? Right? Apathy starting to settle in. Now, Diego Pavia is a very brash young man, and kudos to him. He found a loophole in the system. He got another year of eligibility. Again, further exposing the complete hypocrisy and how everything around the structure system in the NCAA has collapsed. He won that case. Everybody was acting as if that was going to be a difficult case for him to win, and he won very easily. Very easily. Still, I'm waiting for the soundbite. He's going to have one or two leading into the game. But he's a very confident player. They did not get challenged at all in their first game. That's why I think Tech has a big advantage here. I always say that, other than being at home on a Saturday night. Vanderbilt playing Charleston Southern at home is not going to challenge them for coming into Blacksburg. That was a warm-up game. You know how yesterday we were talking about how we should see exhibitions in college football so teams could get warmed up? Well, that's what Vanderbilt and many teams across the country did on Saturday. That was their warm-up game. Virginia Tech, much more hostile environment. And they stood toe-to-toe with a team that's allegedly number 13 in the country, South Carolina. South Carolina is not a top 15 team in the country after watching. They're just not. But in any event, 10-8 going into fourth quarter. It's right there. I mean, it's right there. Huge game. I believe it's the pendulum swing for the fans. I do. And I don't know how many wins it would take consecutively to get the fans back if you lose that game on Saturday. I mean, you're not going to get them back if you beat Old Dominion and Wofford. Everybody's just going to go, yeah, okay. What does that mean? Maybe you get them back if you lose to Vandy and then you win those two and then you go down to Raleigh, beat NC State, get off to the conference slate so you can say, hey, at least you're 1-0, you're undefeated. But there's too much at stake on Saturday. I think if you win it, you don't forget about the opener, but if you win it, everybody takes a deep breath. Let's say they go out and they play like, they used to do every night game at Lane Stadium. Let's say Kyron Drones finds it again. And I have to believe he's going to, right? It makes no sense. I mean, the Greens are both really good receivers. They didn't use the tight end very much. Of course, the offensive line, by the way, if you follow the Pro Football Focus numbers, I don't know if you see that. Somebody posted yesterday on the Pro Football Focus numbers. Hang on, I got to take some beverage here. I just, it's not offensive, I go, but I don't like, I figure people don't want to watch me take a drink of something. Mother's milk. The beverage that shall not be named because it's not sponsoring the program, but everybody probably knows what it is. That knows me. Offensive line was bad, according to Pro Football Focus. I think all the numbers averaged in like the 50s in their grading. So maybe, looking back, maybe that led into a lot of the things that seep into a quarterback's mind. It's why I think it's the most difficult position to play in sports, because your success at the end of the day relies on so many other people doing their job. Now, when they do their job and you still make bad throws or make bad decisions, which Drones did quite a bit of, then that's on you. But you have to have a quarterback have his fullback or his running back pick up a safety blitz. You have to have your line creating a pocket in case the first route is covered and you need time to check down, or maybe that one's covered and you have to find some kind of outlet. Buy yourself some time. Your receivers have to hit their marks of where they're supposed to be on a route, because so many times during the course of a game, I know this is something that, I heard Tom Brady talk about. You throw to a spot, you get such a routine on where a route's supposed to be. You're counting it off in your head. You look and you see the receiver headed there. You're not waiting until he gets there. You're leading him to the spot, or you're throwing where he's supposed to be because you've gone over it dozens and dozens of times in practice. So they need to have all these things happen, right, to be conducive for success. And when they don't, a lot of times you ad lib. Look, when Drones rolled out and threw the pick in the end zone, nobody may have been doing what they were supposed to do. Clearly, because he had to get out of the pocket so quickly, that wasn't on part of the plan. Good point, David. In our McClellan Chiropractic chat room, things are not good. Tech is still advertising single game and season tickets in September. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, 100%. And there it is. There it is in a nutshell, right there. Hokies Rock. Hey, Hokies Rock, good morning. Drones is in his head too much at this point. Don't know if he can pull out of that or not. Scared to run and scared to pass. Yeah, he should be a little scared to pass. Everything's high. Everything is just thrown high. But I think he has a coordinator. The reason I'm not going to panic yet is he's got a coordinator who's, I'm sure, dealt with erraticism before from a quarterback. And it's the only hand he has to play. It's the only hand Philip Montgomery has to play, and that's Kyron Drones. I think he's going to play better on Saturday. What that looks like, I don't know, but I think he's going to play a lot better. He's going to be home. You know he's got to be. I know they owned it after the game. And I saw fans that were lauding it. Hey, there you go. There's leadership. Well, you know what? If you do certain things, like the offensive line owned theirs up, they knew they didn't grade out well. Drone saying he didn't play well. Well, you know what? We know that. Right? We know that. It's not like, hey, there you go. Look at him admitting he didn't play well. Well, we really didn't need him to admit it. We saw it. So the fact that they admitted it means they're stating the obvious. Good morning, Rodney. How are you? I think he's going to play better. We'll see what that looks like. Can they run the ball better? I think they can. Will they? We'll see. Vanderbilt doesn't have the kind of size up front that South Carolina had. We're going to get into that a little bit. Damien Sordelett joins us. But like I said, for me, this game is going to set the tone for the fans going forward. That's why it's a pendulum game. And I don't know when you get them back. I don't know when you get them back if you lose Saturday. You tell me, Tech fan, when does Tech get you back if they lose on Saturday? How much money are you going to spend? How much travel are you going to commit to? How many tickets are you going to buy? And that's where this program is right now under Brent Pry. Nobody likes it. And I think the world of Brent Pry. I like him a lot. I think most people think he's just a terrific dude, and he is. Had him on the show many times, the radio show. But it hasn't worked out so far in terms of production on the field. It just hasn't worked out. None of it's worked out. So my scenario in my head is that Tech's going to use the crowd to their advantage. They're going to take what happened personally because they feel like they did some things that made them very close. We'll ask David Teel. It's going to be fun. David Teel, I think we told us he was in 5 games in 5 days, something like that. So we're going to let him take us through the tour of all of his games when he joins us. That's going to be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. But we'll get his take on what he saw because David is he's been covering it a long time, a long, long time. And he knows what it's supposed to look like. I think we all know what it's supposed to look like. Did not look like that in all the elements on Sunday. Another thing, too, it's just kind of funny. All these people are saying, wow, shrewd move by Shane Beamer to make him kick it again. How brilliant was that? I'm like, wouldn't most coaches do that? I mean, the first kick, it wasn't much of a return. Didn't have great field position. I mean, you see it basically all the time, right? Wow. I'll tell you what, Shane Beamer playing chess there, making him kick the ball again, and then he broke it for a touchdown. I think that was probably a no-brainer. Right? But anyway, we'll ask our next guest what he thinks of this scenario. Am I being too bold in saying that? There he is, Kion Brown, looking lovely as always. In his, look at that, full-throated Michael Jordan room.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, no. The disrespect early in the morning is crazy.
Sorry. It's the medication, KB. All right, let me ask you, Mr. Sports Knowledge, now you're a Washington Commanders fan. You watch football. Now, basketball, it's different, obviously, because there's 32 games. But am I out of my line saying that for Tech fan, after what happened, they hung in there, they lost. Week 2, season's on the brink, right? You lose a home game. You have another shot against the SEC. It's on national TV again, ACC Network. I mean, am I overstating the fact that once you lose a fan base, or is apathy the worst word you can hear in sports, KB?
Yeah, once you lose the fan base, it's over. And then the only way to get it back is you clear house, and then you get this sense of hope that things will change with the new staff. I'm a Washington Commanders fan, so I remember Jim Zorn. Yeah. I remember Jake Gruden. I remember so many coaches. It was like musical chairs. Then Ron Rivera came in, Riverboat Ron, and everyone was like, this is the guy. He led Carolina to the Super Bowl. He's going to do the same thing with Washington. But what Washington fans didn't realize was that a prime Cam Newton wasn't coming with him. So we had to go through that. We win the division his first year, but we only won 7 games. Now we got Dan Quinn, and he's turned things around. Well, it seems like in year 1 he has, but when it gets to the point where Virginia Tech fans are like the Commanders fans, it's bad. And something needs to change soon because, like you said, it's a must-win situation. You said it's play Vandy.
Yes.
So you play an SEC team, and hopefully you get that win, and maybe it'll give your guys a sense of hope or momentum that you can build on it. But, man, I feel for Virginia Tech fans because I followed it closely ever since, we've been on BDST. So it's like, 6 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's just been a lot of inconsistencies in the program. And you mentioned it earlier. You said Tech fans are loyal. They're some of the best fans, and they are. Up here in Northern Virginia, there are so many Tech fans who just every day you'll see a Tech hat, somebody wearing a Virginia Tech football shirt. And when you talk to them about it, it's like, man, we just want that old thing back. Hopefully they get it soon. Hopefully Coach Pry can turn it around, but we'll see. And
that's the thing. They are great fans. Tech fans is one of the top 10 fan bases in all college football, maybe top 5. And I'm not just talking about Sandman. I'm just talking about what they contribute, and they're always selling out in the way they travel. But this is a scenario that Tech always would win, right? Saturday night, Thursday night, bring in anybody, conference opponent, non-conference. How many points are they going to win by? Well, KB, you get 3 for being at home. They're 1.5-point favorites. Vegas doesn't have a lot of confidence that Tech's going to come out of there with a dub on Saturday, and that's the state of where they are right now.
Right. And what's going to happen is everybody's going to take the spread for Vanderbilt, and then the line's going to go up because they're going to say, oh, here it is. Everybody's taking Vandy to cover the spread, and that's when everything changes for Vegas. So that's how that goes.
By the way, I picked your Washington Commanders to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, God. See, this is what I'm talking about. We talked about it last week. We're in this unforeign territory. When people pick the Commanders, formerly known as the Washington Redskins, to make the Super Bowl, it's like something that blows my mind. Last year we were in the NFC Championship game. It didn't feel real. I don't care if we lost a million points, which we did. It was the fact that we were there. It was the fact that we've been suffering for 20 years. We hadn't won a Super Bowl since I was born. And now to be in a situation where people are picking your team for the Super Bowl is something I've never experienced. And now it feels good, but I'm still kind of skeptical because of how the past was.
Yeah, I know.
30 years of my life, we've been the laughingstock of the NFL. We've been arguably the worst franchise in sports. And to turn that around in the last few years, it still doesn't feel real. It's like I'm not all the way there yet because I know what this franchise has put me through and the heartache and me being a proud fan and me bragging about being one of the most loyal fans to one of the worst teams. It's something that I just can't wrap my head around right now, but hopefully I'll have that sense of urgency as I did last year, because I know from last year's squad, a lot of those wins were luck. That game versus Chicago, come on. I appreciate it.
Well, it happens, though. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But come on, man. You got a better chance of winning the lottery than thinking that's going to happen. And then even in the season finale versus Dallas, when Terry McLaurin caught that ball with no time left, it was so many wins like that, and that could have went the other way. So I'll be at the game Sunday. I'm expecting us to beat the Giants, and then I'm expecting the real test the following Thursday when we go up against Green Bay. That'll be the real one.
Yes, it will be. Kion Brown joining us. 2 reasons I think you're going to bounce back and go to the Super Bowl. For one, your uniforms are getting closer.
Okay.
That's what they've done. I know the NFL finally, shut down the name change, which really disappoints me. It's stupid, but whatever. It is what it is. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be the greatest quarterback of his generation. I think he's gonna be whatever we've learned about Patrick Mahomes over the years, and I think he's finally starting to level off and come down. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be that next mega superstar quarterback. And when you have that in place, right? When you have that in place, it just makes everything else so much easier. And I think he's going to be that guy. I have ever since he came out of LSU, and I think it's going to continue to ascend for him.
Yeah, and you talk about quarterbacks. I remember the Brad Johnsons, the Patrick Ramseys, the Rex Grossmans, the Jawan Johnsons, the Josh Johnsons.
Oh,
yeah, so many I think since I've been alive, we've had the most quarterbacks in the NFL in that Spanish.
I think that's right. Yeah, I saw a list of it. It's unbelievable.
6 different starting quarterbacks in the last 6 years. It's crazy. We had a little teaser of a franchise quarterback with RG3 my freshman year at Radford. I remember it like yesterday. But my goodness, the amount of pain that we had to suffer with these quarterbacks. This has got to be the guy. JD has to be it. He seems like it.
He is. He's the guy. He's the guy. Wayne asked Kion, rocking the Radford shirt. Is that for us here in Southwest Virginia, or will you wear that to school? I think I know.
I'm not wearing it to school. It's for you all in Southwest Virginia. I'm actually wearing a Wayne's World shirt. So how ironic is that? I literally have – hold on, I have to show. Come on now.
You got to show me. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to see this. That's one of my all-time favorite movies, man. You had the Bohemian Rhapsody scene.
Come on, man.
Oh, you got to give us you've got to give us the background to that. Why Wayne's World shirt? Love it.
I'm a 90s guy. I'm a nostalgic guy. I love the nostalgic feeling. I know Back to the Future came out in the 80s, but around that time, that was me. I just love that time.
Oh, yeah.
It drives my wife crazy. All the movies I put on are so old, and I just can't get enough of it. It's truly who I am in my core. I'm a 90s guy. I can't get enough of it.
I love it. Now, what's happened to movies? Why you can't have funny movies anymore? Hollywood has just gone so, I guess it's gone so over the top messaging and political. They don't care about entertaining. But I'm like you. I watch movies like that, and it's just so much fun to get away. And Wayne's World is timeless, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just the simplicity of the script as well.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to do too much. You got a basic problem. You make it an entertaining way to find a solution, and then you wrap it up. You know, those shows back in the 90s or movies back in the 90s used to be simple movies, simple plots, ABC. And now you're all over the place, and you can ruin classics. They're remaking everything, and nobody has any originality, have any thoughts of their own. We're just living in a weird time right now, man.
We are living in a weird time. That's cool. Well, you're going to be the most popular teacher in the school.
Yeah, I already am.
Now, will you take the time? Because I'm sure, what's your age group again this year?
I'm high school, so I'm 9th through 12th grade. Yeah.
Okay. So they might know, but you may have to explain what this is all about. Now, will you take the movie in as part of your – that's what I would be doing. Hey, kids, we're going to learn a lot today. Here's Wayne's World. And then tomorrow, Wayne's World 2. Yeah,
so I recommend a lot of movies to them. The most recent one that I thought that they like and they did was Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Another one was Airborne. The one when the surfer was from California, but he had to move to Cincinnati with his family. That was what's my guy from Jack Black's first movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Airborne. Came out in 1992. It's a classic. Oh my goodness.
I didn't know that. I got to see that. I didn't know that. Okay.
It's amazing.
Chris says good morning to me and you, Kion. Hey, Chris. Good morning. Yeah, good stuff. You're in the chat room.
Look, I got to show you this too while I got you.
Look, here he's got more cool stuff. What do we got?
You see who that is, right?
That's LeBron.
Guarded by Wu. It's my favorite.
Is it really? Is that Javante? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, kind of can see it here.
Oh yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
And his Bulls Chicago jersey. Of course, Wu shut that down.
Yeah, I think LeBron had 38, but we won't say that about that. But Chicago did win that game.
Are you gonna be able to make it down for Halloween, Hall of Fame evening, or do you know yet?
I'm not sure yet.
I know it's tough.
Fine tuning the details, but I'm going to do what I can to get down there, though.
Hokies Rock says Resident Alien is a simple, no thinking show. I have not seen that. I've heard of it. Have you seen Resident Alien?
I have not.
Not sure what that is. Okay. Well, check it out. We always will take Peeps examples.
Yeah.
All right. So you got the Cowboys tomorrow night and the Eagles. I know where you are on both those teams. You're a Washington fan, so you don't like either one of them.
You don't like either one of them, but you hate Dallas more. So you root for Philly. You never root for Dallas. There's never a scenario where you root for the Cowboys at all.
Correct. 100%. 100%. When you look at the start of these seasons, we go, high school. Of course, it's much bigger down here in terms, I think, of fan appeal as it is where you are. I mean, it's important, and I know they have great athletes and more kids to choose from. But in college football, goes without saying. NFL kind of comes in. It's hyped up. We know it's almost $1 trillion industry at this point. It just kind of comes in now, and it's become a lot like the NBA. And even hockey, it just happens. Like Thursday night, I don't know how many people even realize who's playing tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It just kind of – it's weird to say that because it's the most dominant sports league ever, and it always will be going forward. But yet here we are starting the season. Haven't seen a lot of pomp and circumstance about it.
No, I haven't seen it either, but it's probably the best matchup that you can have to start a season. And that's what makes it a bit tricky because it's Super Bowl champions versus the most popular team in the world.
Yeah.
Dallas is the number one franchise, and there's not one sports franchise that's more valuable than the Dallas Cowboys. So it's a bit strange to see, but like you said earlier, it's going to be the most watched game of the weekend. I'm going to be tuned in. I really can't wait.
I'll be watching. Yeah.
But it's just different times right now. And then you compared it with the NBA, and you see how the NBA every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the games will be broadcasted on different networks. And the NFL has started that before the NBA.
Yeah.
Because last year was Netflix and Peacock and, the primary channels, the Fox and the CBSs. Now you're going to see more of that. I even think a playoff game is going to be on Netflix this year. So
it is.
Kind of fine-tuning those fans out a bit. And when you print money like the NFL does, do you really care?
No.
You'll wipe your tears away with the dollar bills, right?
They don't care. More international games. Heck, Goodell's even seriously considering moving a Super Bowl over there one day, which would be the worst PR move, I think, for fans in this country ever. But it is interesting, and they're very arrogant about it because they know people are going to watch. They know people don't want to be without it, so they can move games wherever and make these little deals and make even more millions and millions. And that's what they're doing. And you hit it right on the head. As much as we complain, they don't care.
Right.
Fans means fanatics, right? And they know that we're going to come back to it every time.
Yep. And that's the situation it is. Like I said, I'm going to be tuned in. I can't wait. And even in the last few years when they had those international games, the games are having those 10 o'clock start times, people still tuned in because know you're going to have football on literally all day. From
all
10
day
a.m.
long.
to 8 p.m. You're just going to get it.
Now, does your better half watch Wayne's World with you? Will she watch Wayne's World with you?
She's a Wayne's World fan.
That's awesome.
No doubt about it. She'll watch Wayne's World, but it's the other stuff I put on.
Did she have to before you decided she was the one, did you put her through the test of things? Hey, we're going to watch this. What do you think? And are you sitting there going, okay, what do you got? Watching?
No, the only test she had to go through was the LeBron test. That's it. You don't.
How'd that go, by the way? Take me through the LeBron test.
I don't like you. That's how we do it. And she knows that. That is my king. That is my guy. And he's been my guy since I was in first grade.
Oh, this I know. How did that go, by the way, when you presented her with that?
Oh, man. The first time she walked in, she was like, am I with the right guy? Almost a decade later, and she's fallen in love with LeBron just as much as I have.
So now is she staying just for LeBron and all the
She's
stuff?
Staying just for LeBron. She likes LeBron more than me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, as always, it's great to see you, my friend. I think you have a good football year ahead. I think you're going to have a lot of fun, and we'll start getting into hoops. It's strange now that practice goes on basically all year round. In basketball.
Yeah, it's weird for college, but training camp starts this month for the NBA. Preseason kicks off late September, early October. So sports, we're picking up momentum. Yeah, it's here.
It is here. Well, listen, have a great day. If you get any great pics of you in the Wayne's World shirt, man, send them our way.
I got you. I'll send them your way, buddy.
Yeah, please do. All right, stay safe, brother.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for being part of the new show. We're hitting all our metrics. You'd be excited. You're a YouTube guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man.
All right, be good. Give my best to your fam.
No doubt about it.
All right, Kion Brown. Good stuff. That's awesome. How great was that shirt, man? Did you see that Wayne's World shirt? Keon's the best. I like the fact that, he's still very young, but he can appreciate the other era. Yeah, he's right. He hit it right on the head, too. It's just the simplicity of taking us out of our reality. Nobody's trying to convince us of anything politically. They even make fun of it in that movie. Remember the product placement? I don't remember if that was the first Wayne's World or the second one. It was great. Great. Good stuff. Chris says, I'm an Eagles fan, but I have a feeling the game will be close, but Eagles win by 10. Oh, yeah, Anchorman. Still one of my favorite movies. Sex Panther, 60% of the time, it works every time. I'm not going to lie to you, Brian. That smells like pure gasoline. Time to do the no pants dance. Man, those are great. Those are great characters. But you know who makes it work? If you go back and watch those movies, Veronica Corningstone makes the whole thing work. She really does. She makes the whole thing work. Great stuff. Great stuff. Sorry, we're making some future programming notes here on the show. I'm not going to tell you who it is because it spoils things. There we go. It's what you have to do in live TV. That's what I'm calling myself now. I'm calling myself TV now here on the program. By the way, I started the program by reading all of our great metrics, and thank you so much. We've reached over 10,000 overall views, and we've reached over 3,000 actual watch time hours. That blows my mind. Thank you. Now we just have to get the subscriber number up, because every time I hear from my guy, hey, this is great. Wow, I can't believe this. After just 3 weeks, you've done this and you've done that. You must get the subscription numbers up. I'm aware. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Tell everyone. Oh, hang on. I got to mute this here for a second. I'm having a little, this morning anyway, I'm kind of having a little, I'm parched, a little dry mouth. I think it's because I had the soccer game, and you had the first half, which felt great. Temperatures are just perfect at the cup. But as you know, if you're out in the evening, those of you who went to high school football games, and you're going to feel it this Saturday night in Blacksburg. I mean, that temperature drops pretty quickly, and we're up top. If you've ever been to Cup Stadium, it's way up top. Way up top. And when you're way up top and that air comes filtering in, you start to feel it on your throat after a while. I think that's kind of what I'm dealing with today. Just a little. Just a little. Thanks to Kion Brown. Damien Sordelett going to join us here at the top of the hour. Yes, Louise Baker, who has jumped in the chat room. Look at Louise in the chat room. As I've been mentioning this week, this is how great Louise is with the community. She's going to have a pair of tickets to give away for the Virginia Tech contest against Vanderbilt. You know, Louise, since Bill is traveling today, we could do that today in the third hour if you want to. See how we just programmed the show right here live? That's what we do. That's our jam. Let me know, Louise. I'll send you a link. If not, we can do it tomorrow. By the way, whoever wins the tickets, whoever answers the trivia question, what we're going to do is the first person to answer the trivia question here in the chat room. I was going to do either the chat room or the text line, but I'm going to make it just the chat room, I think. But whoever wins the tickets, you have to go to Louise and get them. Okay, we'll do tomorrow then. That's fine. Yeah, I'll put you on the spot, Louise. That's fine. We'll get Louise. We'll give her a chance to come up with a really good trivia question, and then tomorrow we'll have her on. Let's see here. since the person I asked to be on the show can be on Friday instead of Thursday, let's go with around 7:45-ish. What do you think? We'll get on there and give away tickets. Does that work? Good morning, Jason. Speaking of wonderful people and sponsors of the show, Family Fencing, our studio is brought to you by. He's an official in high school, and I know he's got to be loving it. But it soon gets pretty cold for you guys. I know. It gets a little chilly. So Louise will do that tomorrow. Louise, of course, sponsor for Mike Burnett being on the program. She is part of my family now. I'm just going to say it. I mean, you know how it is if you've lost your parents. And I lost my mom. Your mind's already not anywhere near where it should be. I don't know whether it ever will be again, to be honest. But you got all this stuff you got to take care of, man. And you're just overwhelmed. Louise came in, helped me and my brother, and it was just I can't imagine getting through it without her assistance. She's the best, absolute best. So if you've got a property, if you got anything, go see her. Go see her. You won't have anybody give you better customer assistance. You won't have anybody who will actually show you how much they care about what you're trying to do. Go see Louise. But yeah, you're right, Jason. It's that time of year, man. It feels like football. I told you, it was a column that I wrote last week. New column will be coming out, by the way, in the Patriot coming up. And again, I want to thank Mike Williams and everybody at the Patriot. Rodney, I know you're doing things with the Patriot as always. He has his own site, by the way, Rodney Young. But Mike Williams is a terrific guy. Anybody who knows Mike, he's been a newspaperman, writer, publisher for years. And he started the Patriot, much like we're starting this show, when he did a piece on the new show. Very nice of him when we went up there and did a piece on the show. And then he invited me to do a column each week. And if you get the Patriot, it's called Big Dog Barks. I did the first one on my relationship with Coach Lindenberg as a young broadcaster. You had Tuesdays with Maury, written by Mitch Albom, former, sports writer who was on the Sports Reporters. Terrific writer. Mine was Wednesdays with Coach Lindenberg. And then I did one last week, leading into high school football and what Jason's talking about from Family Fencing, what it means. If the weather changed immediately is all I'm saying, and it's not a coincidence. It changed the Monday leading into high school football season. Is that a coincidence? I think not. And then this week is about the ACC. Check it out. It'll come out on Friday. Are they back? Because of two schools. And those two schools being the two schools in Florida. And I talk about how badly the ACC needs those two brands. And I know one of those brands has put itself ahead of everybody else. But they did push the envelope, as I point out in the article. They did push the envelope to create this uneven revenue sharing model, which has usually been a death knell for leagues. Go look at the Big East. But what did they do? What did Florida State and Miami do? And I point out in the column. I don't want to spoil too much, but there are two blue bloods in college football that stand above all others. And I don't care if you're a Michigan fan, if you're an Ohio State fan, Penn State, Georgia, whomever. There are two blue bloods that are the truest blue bloods in college football history. And the ACC beat them both last weekend. Florida State beating Alabama. And then Miami beating the biggest brand in the history of American college football, Notre Dame. We don't like it, but it's facts. Going back to Anchorman, David, it's science. It's science. And they pulled it off. Does it mean that they're going to win a national title or contend? No. But boy, you got to admit, Jim Phillips is probably still just celebrating those two results. Miami's never won the ACC. And I point that out in the article. Ever. But they haven't been very boisterous. I think they've been humbled by their lack of success. But their brand is unquestioned. I think the brand alone is why a lot of these schools, even though they don't have success on the field, and Miami hasn't, they were good last year because of Cam Ward and because they got a despicable overturn on a replay against Virginia Tech. By the way, I don't know what the hell a catch is anymore in college football. The South Carolina kid caught the football. That was a touchdown. The Clemson kid caught the football. That was a touchdown. Virginia Tech caught the football last year. That was a touchdown. Danny Green caught the football. That was I don't know. I don't know what a catch is anymore. Yeah, Jim Phillips Davis is probably still inebriated. Yeah, he's been like doing toddy shots all weekend. I mean, there's nobody happier with that than Jim Phillips, man. He had to just be absolutely 100%. I mean, to see Florida State beat Alabama and to see Notre Dame fall to Miami, I mean, that guy, I can only imagine how many smiles broke the plane there. But anyway, I don't know what a catch is in college football anymore. But when you have 2 feet down and you've crossed out of bounds, you're no longer in play, right? And you've rolled over and then the ball comes out after that's a touchdown. I don't know what we're doing with this whole, I didn't keep it 100%. I mean, I think, was it Herb Street that said during or maybe it was the Clemson game. Yeah, I think it was Herb Street said it's starting to be a high bar now to you're setting a pretty high bar for what's a touchdown anymore. What's a touchdown catch? If you're 2 feet down in the Clemson case, he has the ball, he's rolled over, the ball comes out, it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. South Carolina was a touchdown. Tech got a huge break there. Miami got an ultimate break there. That was a touchdown. Hokies Rock says Miami fans are too arrogant to be humble. They're always in fantasy land. I'm not talking about Miami fans. I'm talking about Miami administration. Hokies Rock. Florida State has gone out of their way to say, we don't care how many bodies we step on, we are far and away better than anybody in the ACC. Look at our TV numbers. Look at the spear on our helmet. Do you know who Bobby Bowden is? All right, we deserve more. They've been very boisterous about it. Miami's administration has not, because they haven't won. They've been in the league 21 years. They haven't won. Now, the media always puts them up there. The media is very arrogant about promoting them, but school itself, they're just kind of, we're hopeful. We're hopeful. So, yeah, I don't know what a catch is, but the South Carolina play was a touchdown. Clemson play was a touchdown. It's hard enough to be a collegiate official nowadays, and you start making them have to do all these other things. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, exactly, David. Danny Cole, that was a catch. He caught the ball. Yeah, Hokie Bob says Danny Cole caught the ball, and Jim Phillips is still celebrating, having Cajun Bloody Marys this morning. There's no question. Keep the stuff coming through the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Don't forget, We broadcast every day live. Jason, here you go. Family Fencing Studios, 540-200-8294. No mess, and there's no fence they cannot construct. Finance options are available. Free quotes. Give them a call. They build better fences so you don't have to worry about your privacy anymore. All types of materials, residential, commercial, or agricultural, doesn't matter. Thanks to Family Fencing. You're the best. And this program is presented every day by our friends up at Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Jonathan Sweet, we're going to start having those folks on here soon, talk about all the great things they're doing. I'm honored as a Pulaski County native to have those folks sponsoring the program. Go see Charles Lee and the folks at Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. With these temperatures, make sure your heating units are ready to rock and roll. We have our BDST question of the week, brought to you by Ryan Pry, the attorney on 701 West Main Street in Radford. If Brent Pry doesn't get it done, who's your choice for Virginia Tech's next football coach? We've had some interesting answers. And finally, National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST. Keep the comments coming in the chat room. Our comments are about to pick up mightily here as we go into hour number 2, as we're joined by the Virginia Tech beat writer for the Roanoke Times, Damien Sordelett. What's up, Damien? How you doing, brother?
The comments are lively this morning. I was reading through them as you're going through the ad reads, and I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be a feisty conversation here.
They are. Well, I want to say, in large part to you and our guests, we've already hit over 10,000 views, and our viewing hours are well over 3,000. And we're not even a month old, so I'm pretty happy with that. So that's great. That's great.
Those are great numbers.
Yeah, we got to get the subscription base up, but that'll come. How are you doing after your trip to Hotlanta, and what were some of your hot takes coming out of Tech's loss?
The trip was great. First time being at that stadium, really nice. I think
Beautiful.
It was $1.5 billion well spent. It was great. Got a chance to go on the field before the game. Lighting was fantastic down there, even with the natural light coming in from the east side. They didn't do the issue like they did with the Cowboy Stadium, where they built it and the natural light's coming in through the west side, which causes some problems when the sun sets. I came away impressed with the defense. We kind of knew the defense would be good this year just because Sam Seifert has proven when he comes in and makes changes to the defense, there's results almost immediately. The offense, you can't have
he groans.
You can't have 14 dropbacks in South Carolina territory and go 1 of 13 for 9 yards with 2 interceptions and a sack. You can't do that. The second interception for Jones in that case was, it's 4th down, it's in the 4th quarter, you got to make a play, and you just throw it up in hopes so one of your guys comes down with a 50-50 ball, which I think according to PFF, all of Jones's contested throws, it was a 50-50 win split. Virginia Tech caught 3 of them, and 3 of them either went incomplete or intercepted. So, and then special teams I thought was great until you re-kicked, and Shane Beamer in his postgame said, why'd you have him re-punt it? And he's like, nothing ever good happens when you have to re-punt because
that's right.
Those players are tired because they just exerted energy running down the field, and now you're like, okay, you got to go do that again. And that's probably why Tech was so out of kilter on that one, even though they had guys in position to make plays and they just didn't. And it happened to be Nick Velsista's best punt of the day. So he might have didn't get enough hang time on it, so the guys weren't in position for the proper angles. But I say I'm a little bit more optimistic about the team season. I thought 8-4 would have was a ceiling, or could be a potential ceiling. And I put this as a loss, and I didn't know if it was going to be this competitive, and it was actually more competitive than I thought it would be. So there's optimism for Tech this year as long as the offense can do its part.
Kyron Drones did not play well. We know now. I saw the PFFF offensive line grades. They did not grade out well. It goes kind of hand in hand. He did make bad decisions. Throw the ball too high. He's still doing that. We know the ability's there. He showcased it before when he first got the Blacksburg. He had the game in Miami last year. I mean, you can see it when it's there. Hasn't come together. What's your take on Kyron Drones? I know people inside the program, I won't tell me who's told me this, but there's no confidence of what's behind him. It's going to be his show going forward. Can he pull out of this quickly starting on Saturday, do you think?
Yeah, I think he can. How many drops did they have? I know the Marcellus Hawkins throw to him on that little wheel route out into the flat wasn't considered a drop, but it very well could have been because, I mean, he got both hands on it. And Brent Pry yesterday was like, hey, I'm old school. If you get both hands on it, you got to come down with the catch. If that has a little bit more touch, I think Hawkins is running for a good bit.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of others that were dropped. I believe Taki Heath had a drop. Aiden Green had a drop. I know Benji Gosnell, they didn't credit him with a drop, but he did get a couple of hands on the ball. Yeah, you got to make those catches. I think with the first game and the pressure, like you mentioned, the PFF grades for Tech's offensive line weren't great. And a lot of that was, you're playing Remack at tackle against Dylan Stewart when he had only played guard at West Virginia, even though he had snaps in practice at tackle. That's a really tough ask for an interior offensive lineman to swing out to the outside and then be like, oh, hey, block this preseason All-American who's a freak of nature. That was a tough ask for him. So you hope that, with at least the game reps, that'll help. I don't think they're going to get into a rotation this week just because it's Vanderbilt and you don't know how healthy Brody Meadows and Jaden Muskrat are. So those 5 are probably going to have to play all the snaps again. So, and hopefully get in a rotation by Old Dominion, and then hopefully the backups play the majority of the snaps against Wofford. Give those guys a break. So, you got thrown in the fire against South Carolina, and that'll happen. I know Vanderbilt really wasn't tested in the opener against Chuck South. This will be a better test to see, have the Hokies improved, and was Vanderbilt's pass rush efficient, because you're going up against a low-level FCS program that doesn't have much funding to begin with. And, how are you going to do on the road? We saw Vanderbilt last year. A lot of their marquee wins came at home.
That's
now
right.
They're going on the road. So, last year they got Tech at home. They got Alabama at home. This year, you got to go on the road to Tech. So I think it'll be different, and we'll see how the Commodores handle it.
Damien Sordelett joining us on the program, the Hokies beat writer for the Roanoke Times. Vegas doesn't like Tech because you get 3 points for being at home. It's a 1.5-point favorite. So basically, they think Vandy going to win the game. They just, it's not going to show up that way. We'll see how the trends go over the next few days. So it's hard for me to fathom that. It shows you where Tech is in the minds of people and the questions. And Saturday night game at home, Damien, it used to be a no-brainer, right? Oh, it doesn't matter who's coming in. ACC opponent, doesn't matter. Big East opponent, go in there on a Saturday night. How bad is Tech going to win? A couple touchdowns. Now it's like, are they going to play well enough to try to win? It's Vanderbilt of all teams coming in. Even they have Diego Pavia. Just shows you right now. And that's why I think in week 2, the season's on the brink. At least from a fan's perspective, if apathy is going to seep in, it's going to happen if they lose at home on Saturday night.
Well, I agree with you, because I mentioned if Tech started 0-2, that's not going to bode well, because Tech needs to win this one and then win the next 2, because then they'll have a chance. They'll be guaranteed to go into October with a winning record for the first time under Pry. So the line opened at Tech -3. The fact that it's dropped 1.5 is a bit concerning. I wonder what the Vegas odds makers know about this that we don't know in terms of injuries or anything like that. Or Vanderbilt might be getting one of its best defensive tackles back who didn't play against Charleston Southern. I can't pronounce his last name. They got a few of those on the team. He's number 5, didn't play against Charleston Southern. If he's back, that does provide some size. I think he's like 6'7", 300 pounds. He plays defensive tackle, especially with those long arms. That can create a matchup nightmare, especially for interior offensive linemen. So we'll just have to see, but I agree. Kind of agree with Wayne here in the chat. Tech needs to protect Lane Stadium There's no excuses about that. So you got to start that against Vandy. And, you can probably give up a first drive touchdown, make adjustments, similar to South Carolina. And we saw the defense after that, really play well. And it was until you go to man coverage and they decided, let's just throw it up to Nick Harbor. It's where South Carolina finally got a chunk play. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I think Tech played really well. And I think if the defense shows up and based on the rotation, I think they played like 28 to 30 players on defense.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
That's
a lot.
Versus 18 on offense. They didn't get much rotation then. I think Benji Gosnell and Jerickis Harrison were the only tight ends who played, and the wide receiver rotation was kept pretty limited. So it'll be interesting to see how much of a rotation you get on both sides of the ball. But I think with defense, that should be a big thing, that they keep rotating that many guys.
What's your take? And it's one game, we don't know yet. What's your take on the potential of the running game? I think the offensive line is going to play better. They have to. If not, this thing's not going to go very far. But did you see some promising things there from the running game? And it sounds like to me when you watch them, or at least what it looks like with drones and nobody behind them, they don't feel really good about, Prelo could be a nice, I guess, type of punch, but they don't feel really good about what's going on the depth-wise of the running back scenario. Bayshore Tootin's going to be missed this year.
Yeah, but Marcellus Hawkins, for a Division II guy playing in his first Division I game, to have 60 yards against a really good South Carolina defense, that bodes well. They're really excited about him. I don't know how long Terrion Stewart's going to be out, but I think once you get him back, that immediately helps the room quite a bit. And right now, I think it's between Prelo and Coney in terms of who's that number 3 running back when Stewart gets back. And I think right now they're leaning towards Prelo just because, his explosiveness, especially on third downs, pass catching ability, and the fact that he's a really good run blocker. A pass blocker. So, I think they're good at running back. I know they don't have the Bayshore Tootin, but I think if Marcellus Hawkins can give you 60 to 70 yards a game, and then you get Terrion Stewart, who can kind of do this similar 60, 70, or 70, 80 yards a game, then you're replicating Bayshore Tootin in terms of what you get as a per-game average. So I think from a running game standpoint, they're going to probably be in a better spot. It'll be big if Jaden Muskrat and Brody Meadows come back for the offensive line rotation, so that way you can get 7 guys in there and maybe a couple series, move Remack back inside the guard, put Muskrat at tackle or Cunningham out at tackle, and get Meadows in at guard, and kind of rotate those guys in so that way, you're getting a breather and not having to play 75 snaps and then on a short week go out and play 75 more snaps. That's tough on offensive linemen. And so you definitely need that depth. And I think, as the offensive line gets going, especially with the way Matt Moore teaches, I think you'll see improvement. The offensive line should be better at the end of the season than it is right now. And I think Matt Moore's track record says the offensive line improves throughout the year, and I think that will help the run game, and that will help in pass pro, because I think Drone's PFF grade, clean pocket was like 91.3, and then under pressure was like 37.4, something along those lines. So you can see the difference. When Drones has a clean pocket and is able to set his feet and has his rhythm and everything, he's good. It's just under pressure, trying to, avoid taking a sack, just throwing the ball away. That's where, issues lie.
Finally, I want to ask you about Diego Pavia. He's one of my favorite players to watch. He's very brash, so brash he went to the NCAA and said, I'm going to play one more year. Stop me. He got it, and here he is, and he's very vocal. So far, so good. I keep waiting. He's going to have a soundbite before Saturday that you guys can run with. I know he is, but he's very confident. He knows how he played last year. It's kind of the game that launched him into this different type of stratosphere in terms of media coverage with how he performed in the opener against Virginia Tech. Tech's got to make things uneasy for him early, right? Don't let that guy come in your stadium and gain more and more confidence every possession.
Yeah, I think with Pavia, it was the year before when he's at New Mexico State and they went to Auburn and beat Hugh Freeze. And Hugh Freeze does not want to see Diego Pavia ever again. Not after the 2022 game at Liberty where it came out Freeze was interviewing for Auburn and the players essentially quit on him and Pavia went off. And that was the regular season finale. That was the week after Virginia Tech came in there and won by one. Hokies lone one-score win under Brent Pry, by the way. But Tech was very complimentary of Pavia yesterday. There was no comparing him to Tracy McSorley, so he could twist those words. Brent Pry said he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He should be in the Heisman Trophy conversation if Lenore Sellers is. And Jaden Keller was very complimentary of him as well. So if he's having to grasp for straws or chew on glass or do anything like that to try to find something to motivate him, it's going to be tough sledding for him because he's going to be searching quite a bit. But you have to control him. The one thing I will mention with the type of offense Vanderbilt runs, Sam Cephas, when he was the defense coordinator at Wofford for 2 years, offense was run by Wade Lang, who ran the triple option. And VMI fans should be familiar with this because Wofford, for the longest time, was one of the nation's leading teams in rushing. And Cephas brought up how going up against that offense in practice on a daily basis, you learn how to defend all 11. It's not like, we don't have to worry about the quarterback. But in terms of defending all 11, that helps with not only your option, but also your RPO, defense, and how you have to stay disciplined. And I think he's going to take a lot of those fundamentals, a lot of those techniques, and a lot of that discipline is needed mentality and make sure the Hokies are in the right position and not letting Pavia, like he did repeatedly last year, get to the outside or pull it and then run, and then there's no one there to take him down and he's able to pick up some yards. So I think Tech's going to be in a better position that way. I know last year there were still a lot of questions of, what's this offense going to look like? Since Vanderbilt had a lot of new personnel on the field and a lot of new personnel calling plays. Now that there's some familiarity with that, there's players like a Jaden Keller, like a Kelvin Gilliam, like a Caleb Woodson, who actually played against that. They kind of know what to expect. And I think Cephas is going to have a plan ready to where, Pavia might get them early, but it's going to be tough sledding for him late, where he's able to find those types of chunk plays that he did, especially late in the fourth quarter of last year's game. I think Tech will be in a better spot this time.
All right, finally, let me ask you, who wins? Who wins Saturday night?
My gut says Virginia Tech wins. By how much, I don't know, but I just think it's going to be another fist fight like it was against South Carolina. The defense is going to hold up its end, and if Tech's going to get any pats on the back after the game, the offense needs to hold up its end of the bargain. So I think if the offense finds the end zone at least three times, I think Tech wins this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, great stuff, man. Looking forward to getting your take on the game afterwards next week, man. Enjoy. Have fun not traveling this week. I know you will.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, David. Good stuff there from Damien Sordelett. He's the best. Check him out, the Virginia Tech beat writer for the Roanoke Times. Hit us up in the chat room. Wayne asked, do we think the short week hurts Tech or are we healthy? I don't think so. I think – and hang on, I got like 6 people asking me about Phil Steele's take on Vandy. Hang on, let me grab my Phil Steele magazine. Yeah, you do a show, you got to make sure you have this handy. I'll look at it. I don't think so, Wayne. All that. I think too much of it's made the short week stuff. I think gets kind of overdone. I think when you lose a game like that, you want to get on the field as quickly as possible. I think they came out of that game pretty well. I haven't heard anything about any lingering injuries, things of that nature. So I think they're okay. I think you want to get out there on the field. Now, it'd be different if they were traveling. Then I think the short week, is something you have to go, whoa, wait. But I think coming back home and just kind of chilling out at home, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to bother them a whole lot. I think you want to get back out there. Yeah, it's a good question, though. And if they play poorly, I'm sure we'll have to talk about it a little bit, right? Phil has Vanderbilt number 14. Ouch. He says it could be a surprising year. In other words, he doesn't like them. Not only does he not like them, he doesn't like them. Vanderbilt, Phil's forecast on the Commodores. Let me see here. He says, though, here you go. And here's how he prefaces it all. Head coach is Clark Leah. He says this is his best team. And they are number one, by the way. Wow, in his experience. Here you go. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Number one on his returning experience chart. They have more experience from starters than any other team in the country. So it's interesting. Phil's got him picked 14th, but all I see is nothing but kudos. And the player, the nose tackle, by the way, that Damien's talk about is Yelenan Quatara. Yelenan Quatara. And Damien was right on it because I just saw that he is expected to play on Saturday night. And he has a chance to be an all-SEC guy. So there you go. Interesting. You realize that Vanderbilt's only been ranked 7 weeks in the last 67 years. A total of 7 weeks in 67 years. He says this is his best team. It's the team last year. Went 7-6. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. But I think Damien's right on it. The fact that the nose tackle is looking like he's going to play is probably fed into the spread a little bit. That's my guess. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I did see that, Wayne, by the way. I saw that yesterday. Diego Pavia's brothers apparently got into a scuffle with police officers after the game. So, don't think it'll affect the play of Pavia. But that's interesting, huh, Phil? Most experienced team? Wow. Is that right? Let me see. Let's make sure I read that right. We don't want to get things wrong here in the program. Unlike things that go on in the access media, we want to make sure we get things right. Yeah, there they are. Number one in the country in experience coming back. 86% of their production is back, offense and defense. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan Pry. By the way, the attorney who sponsoring our fan question of the week. So Vanderbilt's 14th. South Carolina was 10th. Yeah, they had them tied with 10th with 2 other teams. So I guess you could look at it as 8th, 9th, and 10th. But, yeah. Sounds like a pick 'em, and that's where it's headed, it looks like. Yeah. See, Vegas, what you got to understand about Vegas is that's their livelihood. That's their job. They don't put these numbers on these games just because, hey, that looks good. That looks fun. And are they always right? No. But how many times do you watch a game and then at the end go, wow, how did they know that was going to be a 3-point game? Blows my mind how accurate they are. And if you look at it from that standpoint, it's concerning if you're a Tech fan that the spread did open up, what was it, 3.5. It's down to 1.5. And you get 3 points for being at home. So I think it's just going to come down to execution. What that tells me is it's just about execution on, the home opener. Other spreads, folks are asking me here. Let's see here. Illinois, 2.5-point favorites at Duke. So basically 5-point favorites. We're not going to count. I don't know what Eastern Texas A&M is, but they're playing Florida State. I can't comment on that game. I'm just a caveman. SMU, it's a pick 'em because they're 3-point favorites at home against Baylor. You get 3 points for being at home. So that's an even game in Vegas' eyes. That's how you have to start looking at it. NC State, just 2.5-point favorites against Virginia. about that? Tech's first conference opponent. That's a non-conference game, which still makes no sense. Pitt, 22.5 over Central Michigan. I think I like Central Michigan to cover that one. Did that just sound like Bill Belichick? Have you seen all the memes with Belichick? Syracuse, 6.5-point favorites against UConn. No line on Western Carolina and Wake yet. Clemson, 34.5 over Troy. Troy's always athletic. That's a lot of points. No line yet on Gardner-Webb, Georgia Tech. Cal plays Texas Southern. Miami's got Bethune-Cookman. And again, that's a game that Bethune-Cookman's right there, so they played them for obvious reasons. North Carolina, 16.5 points at Charlotte. Michigan State just 3.5 at home against BC. How about that? Interesting. Boston College just 3.5-point underdogs going into play Sparty. And then BYU 19-point favorites over Stanford. That's true, Brandon. Virginia Tech did have most returning starters last year. We know how that turned out. True. I don't know if you can call Bill Belichick's girlfriend Millennial Maggie. I think she's in a different category that I probably can't say here on YouTube. I don't want to discredit Millennial Maggie. I really don't. Big fan of Millennial Maggie. At least Millennial Maggie tries to appreciate sports. It's weird, isn't it? Let's just say it the way it is. It's weird. This whole thing with Belichick is just weird. Look, and I know that people will say, hey, attaboy, what is Belichick now, 72? It's weird, man. I'm sorry. It's just, she's 24 years old. The dude is 73. They had the thing, did you see the cameras? It was all over X yesterday. Did you see the exchange between her and him? I don't know why she's down on the field during warm-ups, but she got down there on the field with him, and you can find it. Just go to X. It shows, and he kind of brushed her off, like looked at her like, what are you doing down here? And she walked away like, it's just weird, man. I'm not judging. I guess I am when I say that. It's just strange to me. What's Belichick doing? And you know what else is weird? Because I know that having Tom Brady was the reason we found out why the Patriots were the team they are. There's no other way to look at it now. He's won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay since then. Tom Brady, later in years, may have been even a better player that year in Tampa. He was unbelievable. Bill Belichick has not been able to find any magic formula of any kind without Tom Brady. So the two things that were weird was how bad Carolina looked fundamentally. They brought in 70 players. They looked awful. Now, Charlotte's a team they should get better, and they should look a lot better. David says, not weird, it's just downright creepy. Creepy is a good word. It's just weird. And I know people are going to kid and say, hey, Bill, look at that. There's 50 years difference. There's no planet in our solar system. There's no race or species of alien flying around that's not looking at that going, boy, that's weird. Even for Earth, it's just creepy. What's this doing to his legacy? His legacy's already tainted anyway, even during the NFL, right? They got caught cheating, 3 different times? Didn't win it all without Brady. Now he's in Carolina, and after 1 week, it just looks strange. It's just odd. This whole thing's been odd. What's he doing? He showed up last year on the Manning cast. Some of it was pretty good, but he got to be a little. I don't know. Hokey Bob says he told her the concessions are cashless and he didn't have any credit cards on him. But yeah, if you see the video, it looks strange. She gets down there on the field. He's down there. His team's coming out, and they're starting to warm up. And, he's already in game mode. He's got his arms crossed, and he pulled out his notepad, and he's like, they have a little 10-second exchange, and you can tell he was, I really don't want you down here right now. I don't think you should be here. Why? I told you to never come down here on the field. What are you doing standing here talking to me? By the way, I really did enjoy your perfume. It did smell like fresh strawberries. Louise says she heard that she entered the transfer portal. Didn't like the playing time or lack thereof. I just don't know. It's strange, man. It's just strange. It's just a weird thing. Creepy may be a better word now that I think about it. Creepy's a better word, David. Yeah, creepy's a better word. David Teel will join us here momentarily. And I want him to go around his tour. That's cool. I think he had 5 games. I just want him to go around his tour and tell us about all of them. That's what I'm going to do. That's great. How happy was he? Thought about him all weekend and all the games that he was attending. By the way, we want to thank everybody. I got the metrics from my dude. And let me find them again. Because it's all because of you. We've hit 10,000 views in totality. And the big thing is over 3,000 watch time hours. And just 17 shows. That was coming into today. And that's pretty big. They are thrilled to death with that. Obviously, subscription numbers hopefully will go up. But tell your friends. Please like and subscribe. It's absolutely free, man. I mean, it's free. And you don't get anything that's going to bother you. All you'll get is a little message on the top of your phone that says, hey, Big Dog Sports Talk with Rick Watson's about to happen. And then it goes away. Or when we upload a show, like when I upload the high school show tomorrow. Hey, 4th and Goal show week 2, upload. Or when Sports and More with David and Rick comes up. That's all it is. It's free. And I need your help because now we got to make the push to 500. That's what they want. And I told them, I said, yeah, I'll talk to my audience. Absolutely. But they are pleased with the metrics, and I owe it all to you. Thank you and the great guests that we have and all of our wonderful sponsors. Family Fencing Studios, McClellan Chiropractic, Little River Heating and Air. Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. National Bank, member FDIC. Ryan Pry, the attorney down in Radford. Louise Baker. All you folks. Did I leave anybody out? I don't think so. Check my list here. I think I'm good. But thanks to everybody. We hope we got to keep it growing, though. We got to keep it growing. But, yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy. The whole Belichick thing's creepy. And that whole interview, remember the interview he did a couple months ago? Where she kept interrupting the interviewer. She was sitting in the background. And he's just sitting there. I know in a lot of other countries, age is never really considered a whole lot, in relationships. But I think even 50 years is probably pushing a little too much. By the way, Friday night, it's high school football night, I know. But since my Auburn Eagles are on the road, there's no home game. I'm going to be watching James Madison in Louisville. That's an enormous game for the Dukes, heading down to ACC country. Of course, Matt Rome, the director of athletics at JMU, is going to be part of this program every month, which is awesome. He wanted to do that. Just like Marty and Coach Ragsdale want to do it every month. James Madison in Louisville on Friday night. I hate that it's on a Friday. I wish that were the Thursday game. I don't know what we have. Somebody's asking about Thursday. Let's see. Try to answer your questions here in real time as we await the arrival of David Teel. Do we even have a Thursday game? Oh, we don't have Thursday. There is no Thursday because it's the NFL launching on Thursday, and nobody's allowed to do anything the same night as the NFL's opening night. Nope, sorry. There is no Thursday. Radford's at home against Giles. Giles got beat up by Blacksburg, didn't he? McClellan Chiropractic chat room has been great since we started it here on the show, the new show. But boy, I tell you what, there's some really funny comments coming in today. I put the meme up on the BDST Facebook page. It said Bill Belichick since Tom Brady left, and it has him pushing a cart in Costco. Throw things out there. 6 Super Bowl rings notwithstanding. Is he the most overrated coach ever? Whoa! That was a very interesting take that you had, Rick. Yeah, totally. I think so. He's certainly not like Travis and Taylor. See, that's Millennial Maggie. Overrated in the sense that there was a lot of things that went on during the Patriots run. They blatantly filmed the Rams practice to win that first Super Bowl. Did it again against the Eagles. Got busted twice. Yeah, I hear I hate that. Yeah, Galax, Glenver just absolutely throttled them. They had a bunch of kids hurt. And Galax was then supposed to play the perennial state powerhouse Graham, and they had to forfeit the game. It sounds very familiar, doesn't it? A pattern that happened, unfortunately, up here in Reiner. Leading to the stoppage of a season, and then they didn't play the next year. I hope that that's not the case at Galax because it's been such a successful program as well. I mean, Mark Dixon won a state title there before he came to Pulaski County. That's a program that has thrived, and sounds like their numbers are really down. Because that's a decision that no high school athletic director wants to make. They don't want to have to forfeit a game or to not play a game. So I hate that. I hate to hear that. Somebody up in Galax, let me know. But I'm guessing, reading between the lines, that's had to be what it is. The numbers were probably a little down this year, and then they had a lot of injuries. And I hate to hear that. I do. High school football week 2. We'll have it covered for you, myself and Jermaine Farrell. Great weather again, by the way, this weekend. Tech fan, you realize you're going to have, this is what you're going to have Saturday. There's a little rain early, and then it's supposed to be an 80-degree day and then down into the 60s. But I think it's supposed to clear off and feel like it's been really almost every evening here for the past, this is the 3rd straight week. It's awesome. Injuries and sickness. Yeah, that'll do it. And you're playing Graham. They've just kind of been in a different class recently. They are really, really good. So I hope Galax can get healthy and get their season going again, because I have experienced it living here in this community. It absolutely drains the life out of it. I mean, people were taking pictures and videos Friday night. They got beat. It didn't really matter. They got beat. what that did for the community, the uplifting. It was sold out. People were staying. It didn't matter. The score was lopsided. Nobody cared. They were there supporting the kids, and they were there eating the concessions. The band was playing. It was just an event for the community. So I really hate to hear that regarding Galax, and I hope they can get enough healthy bodies going forward. Always a healthy body. Joining us on the program right now, he is the Hall of Fame writer, and he is back from his whirlwind tour. His name is David Teel. David, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Hey, I just want to go through it. I thought about you all weekend. I left you alone. I was just smiling because I know how excited you were. I believe it was 5 games, right?
Yeah, 5 games, 5 days.
All right, well, take us through. Let's go day one. Let's just go through it. Day one on your whirlwind tour to kick off college football.
Michael Vick's coaching debut at Norfolk State. Good crowd, not great. Very enthusiastic. A lot of Michael Vick jerseys, both Virginia Tech, NFL, and Norfolk State. You don't see too many Tony Elliott UVA jerseys or Brett Pry Virginia Tech jerseys out there, but they were out there wearing Norfolk State number 7 Michael Vick jerseys. But the Spartans had a coaching vacancy this offseason for a reason. They haven't had a winning year since 2011.
Right.
And it showed on Thursday night against Towson, a very credible, well-coached FCS program.
Absolutely.
And the Spartans go down 27-7.
Game 2, the next night as you were traveling around.
Yeah, and this was kind of a reach, but it was on my way, on my path.
Sure.
And it was a game, and that's about all we can say for it. Is Wake Forest beat Kennesaw 10-9, and another coaching debut, not his personal debut as a head coach, but Jake Dickert at Wake Forest, coming from Washington State, succeeding Dave Clawson. The Wake Forest program has fascinated me for a while just because of, number one, its situation, smallest enrollment of the Power 4.
Right.
But yet under Dave Clawson and Jim Grobe had pockets of really remarkable success, including an ACC championship under Grobe. And folks don't have this opportunity like we do in the media. Their on-campus facilities are awesome.
They really are.
Trust me, Virginia Tech would kill for Wake Forest football complex. And then you go to the stadium, which is off campus, and it's no great shakes. But now, as we saw when we were walking toward the stadium Friday night, under construction is what Whit Babcock has kind of envisioned for Virginia Tech, and that's this entertainment district around the stadium. There are going to be condos and bars and restaurants and shops, and it looks like it's going to be awesome. And kind of the theory behind it is the old adage, if you build it, they will come. It will enhance, It will draw fans, add to the attendance, and now it's up to Dicker and Wake Forest to put a product on the field commensurate with that type of investment. And the game was such that, full disclosure, I spent a lot of it on my laptop watching Georgia Tech, Colorado.
I don't blame you.
And number one, because Georgia Tech, Colorado was a pretty darn good game, and boy, is Haynes King good. And also, once Damon Claiborne, Wake Forest all ACC, tailback, went down in the first quarter with a rib injury, not to return, the Deacons offense was a mess. And they were lucky to get out of there with a 10-9 win. And then from there, we headed south on Saturday to Clemson. And that was the game I was most looking forward to. And, man, it did not disappoint. It was, as Dabo Sweeney said afterward, a heavyweight fight. Mm-hmm. And it was low scoring, which you might equate to dull. These dudes went at it. two high caliber quarterbacks in Garrett Nussmeier, who was better than Cade Klubnik.
He was.
In large part because the Tigers could not protect Cade Klubnik. He rarely had a clean pocket. And this was a game, Rick, that had to give Virginia Tech fans the hives, because Mansour Delane was arguably the best player on LSU's defense, and Brian Kelly said afterward he got a game ball, and then Brian Kelly is shouting out his offensive line, and the first guy he mentions is Braylon Moore, the starting center. And I'm just standing there and I'm thinking, if I'm a Hokie listening to this, I'm gonna puke here, because it's just an example of what might have been. But when you're bidding, you can't outbid an SEC team. And so, I mean, good for Delane, good for Moore. They cashed in. And man, did Brian Kelly need a season, a week one win after having lost his first three at LSU, and LSU had lost 5 straight overall. And Clemson's got some issues on offense.
They do.
They have lost 3 consecutive season openers to Duke, Georgia, and LSU, and in the process scored a grand total of 20 points. That's a problem.
That is a problem.
And those issues have, run throughout the course of the seasons. And then from Clemson, it was off to Atlanta and the Hokies game, and we can get into that a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then from Atlanta, the long slog Monday to the debacle in Chapel Hill. Debacle from a Carolina standpoint.
Yes.
After that scripted first drive, in which the Tar Heels looked unbeatable, but you knew that was a kind of a mirage. They were just dominated. They didn't have the personnel. They didn't have the discipline. And by the end of the third quarter, Keenan was darn near empty.
Yeah.
And by the end of the game, it was empty. There was no body there except the few TCU partisans whooping it up. And just a quick aside for Virginia Tech fans, the visiting radio booth at Keenan is right next to the press box, and it's just a glass partition.
Mm-hmm.
And the TCU's new radio analyst this season is?
No, that's right.
Justin Fuente.
Yeah.
So he's got his back turned toward the media area, and I just start knocking on the glass, and he turns around and sees me. And he just breaks into this laugh. He comes racing out of the booth, and we talked for about 20 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it was a really good conversation. He has no interest in getting back in. He's very happy in suburban Dallas, hanging out with his girls, his wife and 3 daughters, and he's doing the TCU gig that keeps him involved in football. So he looks great. He said if he could just coach spring practice and the season opener and then give it up, he'd take another job.
He would do that.
But it's the rest of the time, no. But anyway, that was my 5 games in 5 days.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm sitting there. I was, at the end of the long college football weekend. I was Friday night going, all right, where's Teel? I got to find it. He's got to be around here somewhere watching that game for as long as I can stand it, because TCU just boom. But
yeah.
All right, so let's go back to Atlanta and just your take. A lot of people have been waiting to hear Tech. Great adjustments defensively. Boy, first drive, you're going, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But never could find it offensively, a lot like Clemson. Just never could get the offensive rhythm, and Kyron Drones looked out of sorts.
He sure did. His lowest completion percentage as a starter. First game, he's thrown multiple picks. Now, granted, the last one was on a 4th down where he's in desperation mode. But the Hokies didn't score a touchdown. And obviously, you're not going to beat darn near anyone without scoring a touchdown, and you're certainly not going to beat the number 13 team in the country
Right.
with Lenora Sellers. The offensive line did not hold up. Drones, much like Kate Klubnik, rarely had a clean pocket. And there was essentially no run game to speak of. Now, Drones did have some downfield completions. Hit a couple long balls to Donovan Green and one to Aiden Green and one to Isaiah Spencer. The Spencer catch was fabulous.
He was.
But far too many mistakes on offense. The chop block that wiped out the long pass to Aiden Green. And then Donovan Green's unnecessary roughness, which came on top of a sack, which put him in a 2nd and 33. That was just crippling.
Yeah, it was.
And, then you don't get lined up properly on a punt, and then they repunt it, and they lose on a Beamer ball play to Shane Beamer, which just had to, again, strike at the heart of Hokies. But you mentioned defensively, they gave up 17 points.
Right.
To Lenora Sellers. How many opponents this season will limit South Carolina's offense to 17 points? I would posit there will be darn few, if any, even in the SEC, that limit that offense with those weapons. And Nick Harbor, that wideout, holy moly, is he a dude? And then he got loose for the big one over the top. Where the Hawaii transfer cornerback got beat bad. But all in all, you had to be encouraged defensively. They look better coached. I mean, Sam Seifkis looks like an upgrade in a major way.
No doubt.
At defensive coordinator. And, Philip Montgomery, as the offensive coordinator, I like some of his calls. It was a first half. Yeah. 3rd and 1, and they're pinned on their own 19, and they threw it deep and completed it. I think that was one to Donovan Green. I was like, dang, that took some stones. There's some aggression there. And I don't think they got points out of that drive. I was impressed by the moxie there. There was the swing pass to Marcellus Hawkins that was going to go for big yardage. And should he have caught it? Maybe, but it was a bad throw. And that's on Drones. And yes, there were some drops, but it was certainly not Kyron's best game.
And they're going to need him to bounce back this weekend, to say the least, against one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the country, in Diego Pavia. I mentioned this earlier, Dave. I don't want to get your take. I know it's early in the season, but from a Tech fan standpoint, I'm not talking about the season, wins and losses, but I think the season's on the brink, right? Because when apathy starts settling in, and if Tech, when it used to be a foregone conclusion, you covered many of those games and had to write about them. When anybody came into Lane Stadium on a Thursday or Saturday night, okay, wasn't if Tech was going to win, what was the final score going to be? How bad was it going to be? Well, here they are. They're barely favored at home, and fans are, if they lose that game, I'm not sure where the Tech fan base is going to lie after that.
Agreed. I don't think, Rick, you can overstate how important this game is to the program, because look where it sits. Brent Pry is clearly embattled. He needs to win. Big picture, Whit Babcock is asking for more money, not just from the school, which he will probably get, but from his fans, from his donors. You've got to give them reason to invest.
Great point.
And this is a program that has lost 14 consecutive non-conference games to Power 4 opponents. We're talking it's been 8 years since that West Virginia win in Landover, Maryland. 8 years without beating a Power 4 peer. That's unacceptable. That needs to change. And this is another opportunity, just like Saturday was.
Right.
And Saturday was a chance to shed that albatross. And so is, or not Saturday, excuse me, Sunday. get confused. And this Saturday certainly is. And you're at home. You're playing at night. You're playing against an opponent that beat you last year. There should be, Brent Price said he didn't have his team prepared last season for Vanderbilt. Well, there are no excuses about not being prepared for Vanderbilt this time because they bit you last time.
Right.
No, I don't think you can overstate it. If they lose Saturday and then with back-to-back games at home against Old Dominion and Wofford, the fan base is going to be, okay, so you win those, who cares?
Yeah, right. They're who care games, right.
Right. Saturday is immense for Virginia Tech.
Agreed, 100%. And finally, before I let you go, I want to ask you, I mean, Jim Phillips had to just be celebrating to his staff on Saturday and Sunday evening. I mean, you look at what happened with Florida State, who looked great. Thomas Castellanos looks like, hey, I can play this game. Guess what? And then what Miami did to Notre Dame, they had the lead. They held on, got the field goal late. But to beat, I think, the two biggest blue bloods of all blue bloods in the history of college football, right? Alabama and Notre Dame, back-to-back days for your league on the two brands, one being very brash, saying we are the brand, get out of our way. The other one, well, we've been in the league 21 years. We've never won it. So we know we're the U, but let's just kind of stay quiet about it. But, man, oh, man, that was huge, wasn't it, from the conference metrics, getting those two wins against Alabama and Notre Dame. It's
the first time in conference history, Rick, in a week one, they've had two top 10 wins.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Ever?
Yes. Woo. And it's only the second time that any conference has done it in week one since 1980. The SEC did it in 2018. So, it was, and it could have been three. If Clemson had beaten LSU, then they'd really be doing cartwheels at ACC headquarters. It would have been darn near a perfect weekend because those were the three marquee opponents of week one. But who knows about Florida State now? But maybe Alabama just isn't very good. And that's the fourth time in 14 games that Kalen DeBoer has lost as a double-digit favorite, which Nick Saban never did.
Never did.
And that is a serious issue in Tuscaloosa. And then, just a quick shout out. I know that Coastal Carolina's program has declined markedly since Jamie Chadwell and Grayson McCall left town.
Certainly.
But UVA was really good.
They were.
On Saturday. And Chandler Morris, apparently that left shoulder is okay. Tony Elliott expects him back for Saturday at NC State. Very curious game.
It is.
For both teams. And that's where I'm going to be Saturday afternoon. Really interested to see that game.
Yeah, I am too. And that you talk about a turning point in the season. I mean, we're talking about week 2, turning points for both Tech and UVA, but non-conference, don't have any pressure in terms of that, right? And they go on the road, and it's only like a 2-point spread right now. So people took notice just what you're saying of UVA's overall performance. I kind of like them in that game, to be honest with you. I really do.
Yeah, and NC State couldn't run the ball against East Carolina on Thursday night. Threw it really well, hit a couple deep balls. And Virginia was much more balanced against Coastal. Coastal's not as good as East Carolina. So you got to factor in the caliber of competition. But I expect a very tense game at Carter Finley on Saturday afternoon.
And one more I want to ask you about. Our guy, Matt Roan, James Madison, going down to Kentucky on Friday night. How big is that potential? That's going to be a lot of fun to see how they handle that whole environment.
That is a sneaky good game.
It is.
And I will be front and center and with the television on Friday night.
Go Dukes. Go Dukes.
JMU's got dudes. And
they do.
They are going to score. I don't care who they're playing. And they play both quarterbacks on Saturday. And Barnett, the Barnett story is remarkable. way less than a year after that ACL to be as nimble and as effective as he was Saturday against Weber. And then Matt Sluka, whom Bob Chesney coached at Holy Cross so well. So that they've got a bunch of weapons. The question is, can JMU slow down Louisville?
Right.
Because Louisville's got power 4 dudes and a whole lot of them. And perhaps the best 1-2 combination at running back in the country in Isaac Brown and Duke Watson. They've got good wideouts. Miller Moss in from Southern California, quarterback. Coach Brom, he knows how to draw it up on offense.
He does.
So it will not be 17-10 in the Derby City Friday night.
No, it will not.
No way.
The over is going to get a workout in that game, in my opinion.
I think so, yeah.
Well, David, listen, thanks so much, man, and congrats on the tour. I was so happy for you to get to go to all those games. Are you a little disappointed it's only one travel spot this week? Or are you ready for it to kind of calm down?
Yeah, I'm good with just one. And just a quick plug.
Yes,
we'll have a piece online later this morning about the 5 games in 5 days. Just kind of some observations and sights and sounds.
Can't wait. That's going to be great. So check it out, folks, and we'll spread the word as well. That's going to be a good read. That's going to be a good read. I can't wait for the book you're going to write because it's going to happen. All right? It's going to happen. David, listen, have a great rest of the week, man, and have fun in Raleigh. I know you will.
All right, man. Be good.
All right, man. Take care. There you go. There's the great David Teel, man. That's fun. I love that. Just David Teel's the absolute best. It's just the absolute best. You can talk to David Teel all day long. Just all day long. We head into our final half hour here. I want to thank Family Fencing for being our studio sponsor. They're the best. They have a no-dig installation. They don't tear up your yard. I'm still dealing with torn-up yard from other people. They don't do that. No mess whatsoever. They're locally owned. They're experts in their craft. They have finance options available. You can get a free quote. 540-200-8294, aluminum, vinyl, wood, chain link for residential and commercial, agricultural. Go see them. Go see them. They're terrific. Absolutely terrific. We want to thank National Bank, Larry Ramsey. They are our exclusive banking partner here on the program, title sponsor of our high school football show as well, which week 2 will come tomorrow. Our star of the week, local high school folks. So thank you so much to Lara and everybody at National Bank for being part of the program. Chat room has been, I was hoping it was going to be as much fun as it has been, but thanks to Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, sponsoring our chat room. Go see them. They've got all the latest everything to make you feel better, to pop you and to make you feel like a brand new person. He was giving me the grand tour, and it was really cool to see all the good stuff over there. I had a good time. I had a really good time just seeing all that because, it's one of those deals where you hear about the technology, but until you see it, you don't understand it. We want to thank Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment being the presenting sponsor of this program. Thanks so much to Jonathan Sweet and Tim and all those folks up there. And Little River Heating and Air, thank you. 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. That time of year where you have to start segueing into some cooler temperatures now, and let Charles Lee come by and check out your place. No hassle, anything whatsoever. And Ryan Pry, of course, the attorney sponsoring our BDST fan question of the week. We've done really well with that. I was just looking already. We've got like 27. We send those to the text line, by the way, which could use a sponsor. We'll put the thing right here. But yeah, it's great. It's great. David Teel's great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of people love David. Yeah, David Teel's the best. I can't wait to read that article. That's going to be great. 5 games in 5 days. So happy for him. He had to just have a blast. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. So there you go. David Teel, Damien, Kion. This game, as I said, to my credit last week, is the pivotal game of the season. It's the pendulum swing for the season for Tech football. Week 2, I don't care. Because Tech fan, you're gonna be full of apathy. They lose that game, and I don't blame you one bit. And boy, David, this is why he's a multi-Hall of Famer. I think he's part of 4 or 5 Hall of Fames. That's pretty good. Hey, Zach, good morning. Good to see you in here, brother. Garrett says the memes for Belichick was hilarious. Some people said that she was asking for concession money. Yeah, I saw that. Garrett, I saw that. That was funny. It's a weird exchange, man. Just creepy. I'm going to use David's word. David Slusher. And it's creepy. It's creepy. But the fact that Whit Babcock's not only his job's on the line in all likelihood if the season goes in the tank, but you're asking money from the fans, the people who are going to be there selling out your stadium. Hopefully, they hope it sells out. It hasn't been announced yet. And if you start the year 0-2, how can you sit there and go, please help us, please? I don't know how you can. Massive game. For the future of this current leadership, football staff, you have 2, I think, really great coordinators. You lose your head coach at the end of the year. Are they back? I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know the answer to the question. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I didn't do that again. I keep getting reminded on the it's Hump-Day. There you go. So no matter what happens, Tech fan, keep calm. It's Hump-Day. That's the look, by the way, Tech fans going to have of if Vanderbilt's in victory formation as the last minute and a half of the game is winding down on Saturday night. Right there. That's the look. That's the look of apathy on the Hump-Day Campbell's face. Right there. And, just because, here's Selma. Just because. Just because. By the way, please, as you watch the program, take the time to like and subscribe. There it is. It's free. Subscriptions are free. You're not asked for anything. You're not sending the old index card in, mailing off your Sports Illustrated subscription for payments of $11.05 or whatever it used to be. This is free. But and I do mean this in a sincere sense, this is your show. The program was brought back for you because I was encouraged so much by you to do this. It blew me away, the reaction I got on the show Facebook page when I threw out the theoretical ask. So I thank you. You inspired me. Randy Thompson, who's been helping me keep my mind in the right place about the show. So now let's take this thing to a bigger level. Please spread the word. It's so easy to show people how to subscribe. I have these QR code things I need to leave out at our sponsors and so forth. And on the T-shirts that we have that are being designed, by the way, I should hear something hopefully this week. So hopefully we'll have some designs to run by you, and I'm going to let you decide what T-shirt you would like at some point, maybe to purchase. So we're gonna show you the shirts and let you pick. No, Rodney, looking at Selma is not creepy. That's human necessity. Selma's my age, a little older than me, but you get that. That's not creepy. 50 years difference is a little creepy. So I will fight you, Rodney, over that. But please show people how easy it is to subscribe. You have anybody who's a sports fan in your family, friends, remind them that it's free. All of our other metrics are great. I'm as transparent as I can be about this new venture into this new world of digital age. I'm just reading you what I got from my dude. They're over the moon with the analytics in terms of views and watch time hours. I mean, he actually put on there, watch time hours, you're over 3,000. He actually did a little wow. And that's because of you. But obviously we need the subscription base up. People got to click that button, go through like videos, watch them late, whatever it takes. But just let people know how easy it is to subscribe. Even if you have family members who may not be interested, it just you're helping something local here that I think can grow and grow and grow. We're going to have terrific guests on the more we grow. We already have terrific guests on each and every week. Wow, 3 Rings football. The first 5 games for Gaelites were Glenver, Graham, Carroll, Radford, and Northside. That is legitimate murderer's row. No wonder they couldn't play, if they were beat up. Good Lord. Wayne says, will your T-shirts say we are all just cavemen and women and watch BDST? That's not bad. But I think one of the designs is going to be the main logo that everybody seems to like, which is going to be like a little QR code so anybody can say, hey, take a picture of that on my shirt and subscribe. Hokies Rock says, if looking at Selma makes me creepy, then I'll embrace it and keep looking. Yeah, I'm not sure looking at Selma Hayek would ever fall into unless you're like stalking her. But I mean, when she's waving at you, right, like this, I mean, it's just kind of human nature, isn't it? See, Rodney's just saying that because he's a Carolina fan. Deep down, Rodney knows it's creepy. So there you go. Threw that out there about game 2, as crazy as it sounded about it. People can easily dismiss game 2, but no, it's vital to the cause. Vital to the cause. But yeah, we'll let you know about the shirt as soon as I see the design, and we'll ask you. It's up to you, like everything else. It's up to you. Best listening audience in radio that has now found us on YouTube. And by the way, I don't say this enough. I want to thank Mike Palmer, who lives. Mike, do you live in Christiansburg or Reiner? Anyway, I know your son went to school with my son. He's building shelves. See back here behind me? I have my Randy Gradishar. I have my superhero poster, which I've had since I was a wee lad. But we're going to have shelves, and I have all this cool stuff. I have my Mount basketball jersey from Donnie Lynn, the head coach. Zach Helton, the voice, Bluefield State. Great dude. I'm going to get him on here next week, I think. If I'm going to ask if he wants to come on. He may tell me to go pound sand. But he sent me a Bluefield State jersey. I want to get that going. I mean, Big Al has this cool Big Dog jug that he sent me that lights up. I want to get all these things on. People have sent me here the drink holders. I mean, Todd Joyce. I mean, my Padres are slumping, but I've got cool stuff back here. I showed you the cup Louise gave me. And thank you. By the way, Wayne, I've loved the bacon. Love Carol. Wayne, love you and Carol. Love Carol a little more. My Bigfoot holder, all this stuff. Show my Adrian Barbeau poster. I might get in trouble for that. I don't have it. I don't have it anywhere near me. I'm gonna have to. Should I show a picture of the Adrian Barbeau poster? Should I do some efforting here on the show right now? Let's see if I can find that. We're gonna look for that. Because it was a poster that was very popular back when I was growing up. And no, it's pretty easy to find. It's pretty easy to find. So I've got it right here. Let's see if I can get this thing going here. And I'm going to put this thing up. I'll put AB poster. Don't you love this little look in behind the program here as I'm trying to do this? we're going to see if I can do this. But yeah, it was a poster. It was the first poster I ever had up on my wall back in the day. I think this is going to work, Rodney. Ah, here we go. So you ready? So here's Adrian Barbeau. If you, that's not going to work. Let's do that one. Boom. That's Adrian Barbeau. And if you ever saw the movie Escape from New York, she's in that movie. But that's the poster Rodney's talking about. She was on Maude. Yeah, that's the one right there. That's it right there. So there you go. Should I hang on to that and keep that from time to time like we do Selma? That's Adrian Barbeau right there. Yeah. You could do worse as a younger man growing up and going through the stages of puberty. You could do a lot worse than having Adrian Barbeau on your wall. Yeah, I think it was my first one. My mom did not like it. My mom did not like the poster at all. But I kept it up anyway. I would say something, but no, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for getting us where we are. We're going on a month. It's hard to believe. 4 weeks. We started on, when did we start? We started the 11th. What is today? The 4th. So technically it's not a month, but it's 4 weeks. I never thought we'd make it through 4 weeks. Never thought I'd make it through 4 weeks. This whole thing of downloading a studio and trying to learn it all. But it's been great. People loving seeing our guests, our contributors. I get it. It's great. Not so much me, but yeah, the contributors. It's just a different element to it. It means something to see. And I get why YouTube is right up there. I think it's Netflix and YouTube, the two highest streaming interactive. I mean, they're all worth hundreds of billions and billions. So there are going to be things that happen, like I say, where we'll lose power. We'll have an internet drop. Hang with me. We'll get it back, or I will get the show going later than that day or something. I may come back in the evening and finish the show. So just know that's going to happen. All right. So this is what by the way, I had this thought. I wanted to ask you. It's going to be up to you. Now, a lot of people are going to go to the game. Would Saturday night, because I have a soccer game at 2, I'll be home in plenty of time. Would Saturday night be a good night for the first Hokie watch party live stream? If you want to jump on, I can send you a link and you can come on with me. We can chat it up. Or should I wait for a road game? Because a lot of people I know are going to be traveling. No, Rodney, we don't know exactly the time. I know that both parties have agreed, Marty and Coach Rags. But no, not yet. That is going to be completely on Marty to let us know how his schedule's going with travel, and then we're going to try to do that. But I will let you know. I will let you know. You're too kind, Wayne, by the way. You're way too kind. So what do you think? Should we do like I might go live. If I'm here anyway, should I throw on a live stream and we can just watch the game together and talk about your comments? And if you want to jump on, I can send you a link. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know. I haven't decided yet. Being a home game, a lot of you know we're going to be there, so it might change things. Maybe we should wait for a road game. But I don't know. Think about it and let me know. Hit me up on the text line. And I promise you tomorrow I will have the text line right here. And at some point when I get a sponsor, we'll have the sponsor name in the text line right here. Because I think that was Wayne who had the idea, right? Don't you love when I move the microphone around, you can hear it? To put it right there. Because you need to see it. But that's a good idea. It's a good idea. But I don't know. Let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. Road game would probably be better, wouldn't it? But I might ask Dwight Vick about it tomorrow. Now, if I get on there with Dwight, you're going to watch. But he's busy, and I think he already does something on his own channel like that. Not sure. But I don't know. I'm just kicking it around. Yeah, exactly. Do it just like the Mannings thing. Just sit here and talk about it. I have my TV right there. Now, we can't show the game or anything like that. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Rodney. Road game would probably be better when people can't travel. So I'm thinking that's probably the way to go. But who knows? I might just get froggy, and if I'm just sitting around on a Saturday night, click, I might just go on. Hey, everybody. I'll put up a thing on the Facebook page on social media. If you want to jump on, fine. If not, I understand. So many people are going to be at the game. But we'll look at some future scheduling here about events that I have at Radford Broadcasts. And if I'm free during a Tech football game, like maybe the NC State game, I don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead. Then maybe we can plan on that. But it's something I would like to do. That's something I would like to do. I would love to just have like a let's all rap about it and talk about it. I think that would be fun type of deal. No, actually with YouTube, you don't have to tone down cursing. Most of the channels I watch, this isn't like the FCC. Now, I'm not going to do it on this program out of respect for people and hopefully younger people watching and our sponsors, but there's no language no-nos on YouTube. A lot of things I watch, it's pretty colorful language. So that's not an issue in any way, shape, or form. So you don't have to worry about any of that. And I'm not sure how tomorrow's show is going to look. Bill was traveling. So I don't know if he's going to be on tomorrow or not. Andy Bitter, Dwight Vick, probably Brian Siegel, maybe something else. We'll see. But I'll let you know. But I'd love to have Dwight do that at least one time. That'd be a lot of fun. Have Dwight come on. Maybe we could do it on his channel, simulcast it. And just have him break down the game and watch the game. Maybe get some of his former teammates on there. Stuff like that I'm thinking of. Taking you inside the BDST production meeting with our staff. Oh, wait, it's me. Just me. That's our staff meeting. I figure you're my staff, the people who are watching. So you're my staff. You're the people I bounce things off of. So that's what I go with. Welcome, staff. Hopefully your enjoyment of the program is payment enough because, I am a startup operation here. I can't be. But I do appreciate it. I know I've said that a lot, but when I got the positive metrics report, it made me very happy about the views and the viewing hours. Now we just got to get the subscriptions up. There always has to be a caveat with YouTube guy. Hey, you're doing outstanding. We're enjoying it. Blah, blah, blah. You've done this. You've exceeded this. You've already gotten to this. But, boy, what about those subscription numbers? See me. Come see me. So that's where I'm asking your help to help spread the word. And show them how easy it is. I don't think people realize how easy it is. If you have YouTube, just type in Big Dog Sports Talk with Rick Watson. It comes right up. Subscribe. You're done. You're done. I know I gave up on the online article finding, Rodney. I didn't get to see last week's at all. I've just given up on it. Don't know how. Don't know why. Can't get it to come up. I can get to where I'm supposed to get, but I never see the article. I don't think it's online. Yeah, I think that's going to happen, Wayne. David and I doing an NFL game. Yeah, I think that's going to happen. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about that today. We're recording Sports and More later today, and I'm going to ask him that. No, I haven't been able to read my articles, except for the one you brought me, Rodney. I want to thank Mike Williams and the Patriot. It's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun. I hope they're what you guys were looking for. But it's kind of fun to step out and write about something. And this week I wrote about what I talked about with David Teel there a little bit with Florida State and Miami's big win. So I hope you enjoy it. So I hope they're okay. But no, I can't find them. Maybe every week if it's online and you can just copy and paste that and just send it to me and I can look at it that way. I can't figure it out. And it has nothing to do. I mean, I've got the subscription. I just can't find them. I can't find it online. And I know it's operator error. I know that. Me being the operator. So tomorrow, Andy Bitter, Brian Siegler, and yeah, so he even Roddy said he tried to send it to me. I don't know. Maybe we should we'll have to get Mike Williams in on this, see if we can figure that out. Because I would like to be able to post it on the Facebook page. Because I'd like to help promote the Patriot as much as I can. I really would. But I don't know how to do that. So, Mike, if you're watching, Rodney, maybe you can talk to Mike about it. But it's been great, and I appreciate all the support the Patriot has shown the program. And I appreciate the opportunity to be able to write again. I haven't written in a long time. Last job I had was with, I'll tell you who it was with. Rodney, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Bob Thomas. Remember Bob Thomas when he had the Southwest Times Radford Bureau? And I would write about Radford High School, Radford University from time to time. Not all the time like I'm doing it every week now with these columns, but Bob Thomas. I have to find it. I have a little badge, and I can display that too. It says Southwest Times Farm Bureau, Radford Bureau. I have to find that and show it. But in any event, thanks to our wonderful guests again today. I know you enjoy the guests, but I just get blown away how much each and every time that I learn from all these folks. It's just Kion Brown was so much fun talking about Wayne's World. That was great. I love it when the show goes in ways that you don't plan or think about. Damien Sordelett, who does a great job as the Virginia Tech football beat writer. There's been so many good ones over the years. And then David Teel. There's a reason why he's the member of 77 Hall of Fames. He's the best. I can't wait to read his piece. I'm very excited to read his piece. Check it out online. Him writing about his 5-day excursion, man. That's so awesome. No, Zach, I don't have the links on my I don't know. That's a good question. Reese asking if the links to my articles are on the Pulaski Patriot page. I can't find them. They might be, but I haven't been able to find them. They're in the printed page, and I guess that's the big thing. But I don't know. I don't know. And I know it's on me, but it is what it is. 4th and Goal Show Week 2 will drop tomorrow. Okay. And we will have the second Sports and More because we got to go through our NFC picks for the Sports and More podcast with David Smith. So be sure to join and have fun with those. Those are fun. I have a lot of fun with those. Because it's always fun talking, to Jermaine, and it's always a lot of fun anytime you can talk to David Smith. But that is going to do it for us here on this Hump-Day Wednesday. Be sure to check us out tomorrow on Thursday. That's the thing about this. You could just ramble on for another hour if you wanted to. I got places to be today. But thank you again. And I mean that sincerely. Thank you so much. Let's keep it growing. It's got to keep growing. It's got to grow to a certain point, or they just yank the whole thing down. I mean, I'm just telling you right now. And I'm not being threatened with that, but I'm just saying that's what they do. Because they want to make money off of this, a live show. This isn't like just uploading videos randomly. This is something they pay a lot of attention to. So please help me. And I hope we help you get off to a good start each and every day. Thanks for watching again. Thanks to our guests. We'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition. Brian Siegel, Andy Bitter, Dwight Vick. We'll get primed and ready for Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt. Maybe some other stuff happens. But enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Spread the word. Get people to subscribe, please. And we'll see you tomorrow.